This is a brief introduction to how to create a SQL Server login and a database user. Within SQL Server Management Studio, expand security. We see logins here. Right-click on Login. Select New Login. On the New Login creation screen, we need to give the new login a name. I'm going to call it Demo. We can choose between Windows authentication and SQL Server authentication. For Windows authentication, the user must already be a Windows user for this system. I'm going to choose SQL Server authentication. We need to provide a password. Confirm the password. For Windows authentication, we do not need to provide a password because the Windows credentials will be used. There are several options to enforce a password policy. I'm going to uncheck them. Move on to Server Rules. On this screen, we can put the new login in an existing security rule. The default is the public security rule. I'm going to leave it alone and move on to user mapping. On this screen, we can authorize the new login to use a database. But if we go to the database to create a new database user and assign permissions there, we will have a lot more options. We will do that later. Move on to Securables. On this screen, select Search. Select this server. Click on OK. There are a lot of permissions that we can assign to this new login. I'm going to allow this new login to create any database. Look through the list. We have an option: create any database, check grant. Move on to status. For creating a new login, we don't need to do any configuration on this screen. But for ongoing maintenance, we may want to come back to disable a login or deny a login access to this SQL Server. We have done enough configuration to create this new login. For other options, we can just use the default values. Click on OK. Expand logins. We see Demo here. This is the login we just created. Now we are ready to authorize this login to use a database. Expand the databases node. I'm going to authorize this login to use AdventureWorks 2008 R2. Expand it. Go to Security. Right-click on Users. New User. On this new user creation screen, we need to give the new user a name. I'm going to call this new database user demo as well. Well, it's a typo, so I want to call it demo. We need to map this new database user to an existing login. Click on the expansion symbol. Type in the login we just created, demo. Check names. The login has been validated by SQL Server. Click on OK. Move on to owned schemas. We can allow the database user to own a schema on this screen. I'm going to skip it. Move on to membership. We can put the new database user in an existing database security role. I'm going to make this new database user a DB owner. Check this box, DB owner. Move on to securables. On this screen, click on search. All objects belonging to a schema, the third radio button. I'm going to pick production. Click on OK. We have a lot security permissions that we can assign to the new database user. Since I have already made the new database user a DB owner, so the DB owner has the highest level of permissions. We don't need to do any additional security assignment here. Move on to extended properties. We don't need to do anything on this screen. Click on OK. Expand users. We see demo here. This is the new database user we just created. If we want to delete a database user, right-click on that. Select Delete. Click on OK. I'm going to collapse AdventureWorks 2008 R2. If we want to delete a login, right-click on the login, select Delete. Click on OK. Say OK. The login is gone. This concludes the brief introduction to how to create a SQL Server login and a database user.